We minister, Northminster Reformed Presbyterian Church in Alpharetta, Georgia, ministers in some very rich suburban areas north of Atlanta. We are a young congregation, a small congregation, and yet by the grace of God we have been united together in Christ. We were organized on April 24th, 2010. And very excited about being part of the RPCNA. One of the needs that we have is in terms of finances. Right now, the regular giving of the church only meets about half of our financial needs. And so we obviously need more people, and that's another need, but also to bring in more funding for the congregation. We need simply to remain steadfast in terms of our outreach ministry. We do a lot of door-to-door work, and we need to be able to continue in terms of those ministries. We also have a downtown Atlanta ministry that we've been very excited about. For about a year, we've been going into the downtown area doing Bible studies. And over the last couple of months or so, since the middle of April, we've been out literally on a street corner at the steps of an old burned-out church building in a very depressed area of Atlanta, one of the roughest areas, with a lot of heroin addicts in the area. Basically, everyone that you see there walking the street would be into heroin. And by God's grace, we've been able to be there, and we've been able to see, even in the little time that we've been there, we've been able to see the impact of the gospel in people's lives. Certainly one of the things that we need prayer for is the financial picture, that God would provide the finances for our congregation and for its ongoing ministry, not only in the suburbs, but of course in the inner city. In terms of the inner city ministry, we definitely need prayer in terms of being able to reach out there and hopefully be able to see not only lives changed, but to such an extent that we could have the seeds of a church plant at some point in downtown Atlanta. It's a very difficult population that we're working with down there, and yet amazingly, a lot of these people, unlike what you run into in terms of typical suburbanites, a lot of these people understand the notion of total depravity, understand that they are sinners and their need for Christ, and so that we would be able to persevere in that ministry. It's a tough ministry, and it's one that we've often wanted to give up on, and yet God has not allowed us to give up on it yet. In May of 2010, we were delighted to have Stephen McCollum from the Reformed Presbyterian Church of Ireland to come and be with us for a couple of weeks. Stephen is a remarkable young man, and we were just delighted basically to adopt him into our congregation. And he and I, for a couple of weeks, went door to door. We visited 2,272 houses and distributed 2,135 bookmark brochures from our congregation and 646 gospel tracts. We had numerous opportunities to talk with people about the gospel. There were several times where he or I would be invited into a home and be able to talk with people about Christ. And many times these folks were from a totally diverse religious background, perhaps Hindu, perhaps Buddhist, all kinds of different backgrounds that are represented in the Atlanta area. And that is one of the challenges. The number one religious preference that I've discovered going door to door is Roman Catholic, which you wouldn't think of in the South. And yet there's been a heavy influx of Roman Catholics into our area. And another strong representation is from Hinduism. There's a large Indian population in the suburbs. But Stephen was of great encouragement to us, and we would just love to have others to come next year, Lord willing, to assist us in the door-to-door work and also in the inner city work, which is an exciting opportunity. And we think that the Lord is working in both of these areas. We got involved with RP Missions because I contacted Matt Filbert, some months ago, maybe about a year ago, to see if perhaps a group could come and help us. And this is a great opportunity for a local church to have the influx, to have folks come in from the outside, sort of to give a shot in the arm, perhaps to jumpstart a ministry, or to just to come alongside and to help in terms of whether doing door-to-door or whether engage in some other type of ministry. And so it's been a great blessing for our church, as well as the fact, not just in terms of the outreach, but the experience with Stephen was such that he really wanted to reach out to the young people in our church, get to know them, as well as the families in our congregation. And simply by getting to know him and by being able to minister to him, we were brought together as a congregation as well.